he's only just centre steered this boat, so he even said to me he really hasn't driven it with the centre steering, so he's going to have to just get used to that. I mean, in theory, the centre steering will make it a lot nicer to drive. So Brandon has been doing very, very well. Did very well at Dargle. Ricky Howard, just while you're in the commentary box, you're the busiest man on earth at the moment. You got time for a chat?
Yeah, mate. Eyes in the back of my head at the moment, so I'm doing all right.
Tried to have a conversation with you this morning. It was punctuated by about 27 radio calls. But, mate, great to see you here. You've taken on the biggest job in powerboat racing. First of all, I haven't seen you since Yarrawonga because I didn't make it because I was racing my car. But, mate, congratulations on the Griffith Cup.
Yeah, cheers. Finally got a bit of good luck. Maybe it's because you weren't there. So stay away next year.
Oh, well, I'll do that too, mate.
No, thanks, mate. We had a great weekend. We got a little bit of luck on our side, and obviously Grant had a bit of bad luck, and Troy had even worse luck. He didn't make the heats. So, yeah, it's good to tie one together and get it. It's still sinking in a little bit, to be honest, and it probably won't fully hit till next year when we go back and do it again, hopefully, and go from there. But what a fantastic weekend. What a great roll-up of boats and people, and it just should be a blinder.
It will be, mate, and I think this National Drivers' Championships really brought a lot of them, to make them commit to a series, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it looks like the drivers are really stepping up to do that and making it into something. And it's good for the clubs. Like the clubs outlay a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of infrastructure. And for them to come as a group like they are and give you something to sell, so it works both ways. The clubs are putting, like, this is probably the biggest meeting up auction powerboat clubs ever really put together financially wise and backed. And the boats are here to show it off, and hopefully the weather holds out and we can make it one of the best weekends we've ever had.
Well, mate, Linny doesn't work cheap. We all know that. So, I mean, a big budget for that. Hey, no, it's great to see it, mate. It's you're a great driver. You're a great racer. You're a passionate guy about boat racing. But the thing I love about you, mate, is you're here working hard for the club.
Yeah, look, that's what it's about. We love the sport, and it doesn't happen. There's not enough people to help run it. All clubs have the same trouble. And it's really a matter of if you want the sport to succeed, and we love the sport and the people in it, then you can't sit there on the banks and complain about it. You've got to get involved and do it, and which, I started off in a crash boat and tow boats and doing rescue boats, and have worked my way up through it with experience. And it's an unthankful job a lot of the time. No one wants to enforce rules on drivers and make decisions that don't go people's way, and they don't get, that you might like the person, you might not like the person, but you got to make the same decision. And it's really, I'm a small piece of the puzzle for the club that does a massive amount. There's probably a dozen people that do a heap. There's 6 that do a ton of work, and the rest of the club and people fill in the meantime. But without all them, I'm just one bit of the puzzle that comes along and sort of fills up the holes here and there. Ben, what a fantastic club and crew to work for, and it shows we're on the right track with the boats that are showing up. The NDC have come back again, and with commitment to us, and the drivers have got a commitment that we're going to stick to the same program we've been sticking to and look after. So we've got good, safe racing, hard racing, and the drivers can feel confident that they're all tread on the same level playing field and get a fair chance to race, which is what the crowd's here to see. It's what the drivers want to do. It's just better for everyone. And if everyone's on the same page, our sport's better to sell to the public. It's better for the official side of it, and it's better for the competitor. It just makes, we've seen in January and September last year, and then we saw it roll on to Melton and Adelaide, and it was just some great racing with very few incidents in the blown boats. We've seen, touch wood, some of the best and closest racing. We've got more of the fastest boats than we've ever had. You look at Melton, we've turned it up, and Reckless and Chasing Cash, and let alone add Outlaw and Madness and Unleashed and these guys too. We've got so many fast boats and very professional teams that have really lifted the standard so much in that side of it. So the clubs have had to lift the standard on our side of it to run with that. And that, unfortunately, means rules and conditioning to that as well.
Yeah, mate, and to be honest with you, Ricky, I haven't seen a lot of... Anthony Horniman did an interview years and years ago, and he said, there's not too much... Actually, no, it was Peter Tate. Said there's not too much bitching about rules and regulations in Unlimited, it's just run what you brung. But I haven't seen... I've seen some penalties dealt out, whether they were harsh or not harsh or whatever, it didn't matter. Nobody sort of arced up. There might have been some guys just kicking the dirt or whatever, but, no one's pulled the pin and said, I'm not coming to play. Everyone wants to win this championship.
Oh, indeed, and... It's been really good. Like, we've got the drone footage now, and drivers have come up and been able to look at it and understand exactly what we're talking about. Obviously, we upset Brett back in Brett Shepard Unleashed back in September.
Yep.
But Brett, after he thought about it and looked at it, and it wasn't really us he was disappointed with. It was just the rules not being enforced elsewhere. So he was upset on the day, and a few things were said. But Brett come up to us sometime later, and we've had a chat, and he understands where we're coming from.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Brett has pulled out of being here this weekend because it would have been really good to see him here again.
Yeah, broke a lifter apparently.
Yeah, exactly right. So just one of those shit happens type of things. But it's really fantastic to see him still going, and as we got Titan out here, haven't seen Dave up on this course for a number of years.
Big Dave Sadley, yeah, he's out of South Australia, mate, so it's a long way for the South Australians. It's good to see him. Hey, Ricky, thanks for coming up. Thanks for inviting me up, mate. I really appreciate it. I love this venue. Even though I'm a dirty Victorian, I love coming up here, and looking forward to a massive weekend.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. That Titan Dave Sadley's really made this boat work well in the last 12 months. Since he put the cockpit in there, he struggled a little bit. In the last 6 months, the boat's really started to show some speed and looking pretty good. But not only a Victorian, Bisho, you're a ski racer too. So we got a lot more time against you.
Hey, mate, don't worry. I have circuit raced, just not very well.
But now the NDC and the boats, we talked about their rules, and they're trying to commit to the sport and Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
Really a good thing for the sport. But I'll leave you be. I'll let you go. Thank you very much, Dave, for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ricky. Thanks so much, mate. And try not to go any greyer this weekend.
Can't go any greyer now.
I'll buy you a beer at the end of the weekend.
You guys have a great call. I don't know how you can have a bad call with a field of boats while we've got.
You couldn't bugger that up, could you?
You're right. Have a good one.
Thanks, mate. Thanks very much. Ricky Howard, ladies and gentlemen, working his little white butt off for the Upper Hawkesbury Powerboat Club as Dave Satterley out there in the Titan. Dave's been really putting on a good show here in, sounds a little bit fluffy down the bottom there, and that sounds like a little bit of an issue there for Satterley. Well, the best thing to happen is for it to happen in the practice laps. Certainly don't want that happening in a race, so hopefully they can sort that little bit of a misfire out in that boat and get her back out on the water and get her cracking along. Yeah, sounds like he's struggling to put the power on there in actual fact, but we've got our this weekend. We've got all of our juniors, a full complement of juniors, J1s, 2s and 3s, and we're really looking forward to that as well. We're going to take a short break at the moment just while we're enjoying these practice laps. We'll be back real soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And at the moment on the course, we have the Sick Puppy, one of the coolest names in powerboat racing. And this is Corey Marlin. He had a little bit of a climb down the back straightaway. Had to get that boat settled down. Very, very well balanced bit of gear. This is one of the fastest 6-litre boats on the planet. And Corey, as Lenny said a little bit earlier on, only 16 years of age and absolutely wringing the neck of this boat. And I'll tell you what, Lenny, once we see this kid jump into a blown boat, well, Troy will be parked up. Don't worry about that. He'll be relegated to crew chief, I would suggest.
I tell you, I first saw him at St George, when they were down. They came down to the Waggett, the Ken Waggett, and he was just so smooth.
Yeah, it is, mate. The boat's so well set up as well. I mean, not to take anything from the driver, but you put a good driver in a well set up boat, and that's what you get, isn't it? You just get this beautiful, fluid, flowing motion through the corners. The power gets put down really nicely, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch, Linny.
Yeah, it is, David.
I'm a boating tragic, you know that.
You can have all the power under your pedals, you need to apply it. And the young bloke at 16 doing a wonderful job so far this weekend.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute ripper, mate, and checkered flag's going to come out for young Corey, so yeah, we've got a complement of classes as well. Obviously, we're looking at Corey at the moment. We've got 6 litre boats. We've got our J1s, our J2s, our J3s. We've got Yamotos, we've got 550s, unlimited outboard, and look who's on the flags, mate. Jeddah Norrish, how good is it? I tell you what, you New South Welsh would be in trouble without us Victorians, I reckon.
Oh, it started already, has it? Yeah. Well done to young Jeddah. I remember when he was much smaller than he is currently. And
he used to be such a cute little kid. Look what happened to him.
It went south. But no, and we're talking about the different classes, and one of your favourite drivers I know because she drives the yellow boat, Rhonda Wadakovich.
Yes.
She was actually...
Is that the correct pronunciation?
Well,
Wadakovich?
It's mine.
I'm going to check with her.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what it is.
But Rhonda, on a serious note, was inducted into the Hall of Fame last week.
Fantastic.
And how good is that?
Yeah, terrific. Well deserved, of course. Okay, look at this boat. You know this guy. His name is Scott Patterson, and he's in the Turn It Up, and his dad is standing right next to us on the cans. I won't bother Scotty while he's talking to Connor at the moment. But we might catch him up for a chat after this. So Connor had that failure at Yarrawonga that really, it wounded him mentally, I think. There's some punch marks still in the dashboard of this boat from when he spat the dummy and threw the gloves. But okay, so I've just heard from Scotty, this is going to be his hot lap. This is going to be the fast lap. So crew chief Scotty Patterson has said, righto, turn it up for this one. Turn it up, being the operative word. Boat looks beautifully settled, Linny.
Yeah, it does.
So up through the top turn, he gets it turned in. Goes the call from crew chief. He wants everything and he gets it. Connor Patterson, bang, stopwatch slam shut. Scotty Pete. Mate, I won't keep you long. You've got to go and get that boat out of the water, but sorry, mate, you're just chatting to Connor still. Heard you saying go, go, go. Obviously, you're running some times here, mate. How's the boat? You ran it at Epilock during the week. You're just chatting to Connor here. Okay. So, Scotty, the word is no more. Connor, for God's sake, I know you're having fun. How are we going, mate? We happy?
Well, that's his first go in it. I've been doing all the testing, and so far, I reckon we're going to be way up there. We're already 3 seconds quicker than what they did in January.
Fantastic, mate. That's wild. Okay, so Connor, mate, you had that issue at Yarrawonga. That did hurt your chances. I was actually thinking that, it really might have put paid to your championship aspirations, but I'm looking at the points. You're still sitting in 4th spot and well and truly can win this thing.
100%. As I said in one of the interviews, like, this is motor racing, and in motor racing, anything can happen, as you know, both of you guys actually know. And I think we had one bad day, but our other 2 days were magnificent. So we just got to remember, the other 2 days were magnificent, one bad day. It's nothing, right? Footballers do that all the time.
Well, the reality is, mate, it's all about the points at the end of the day. You're sitting in 4th spot at the moment, but you're only about, about 80 points off the leader. Now, there's about 150 points up for grab this weekend, so well and truly capable of getting the job done. When you came into this, you guys had no expectations. You thought, here we go, we put the blown engine in the boat, and here you are sitting. We've got 25 boats in this championship, and you're sitting P4 at the moment with a chance to win.
And so we gave ourselves no chances, but as a 6-litre boat, Connor had been representing himself and the 6-litre class really, really well. Stepping up into the Unlimiteds, definitely we went with a different idea of how basically power goes. We actually went there, we're going, if we can get 100 more horsepower than our 6-litre, we're going to go better than what we would normally do. And basically that's just what we've been doing. We've just been trying to do those types of things. We run a very light boat, so running a light boat at Yarrawonga so fast, we went the fastest we've ever gone at Yarrawonga, and I know everyone will say, oh, they're not that fast down the straight. The fact is no one passed us down the straight, so we're pretty fast down the straight. And once you put it onto the water and you do what you're doing, it's only 800 kilos with 1,100 horsepower. So when it hits a bump, it just goes through it. And unfortunately, it broke a couple of things. And I thought it just broke a bolt, but it actually broke part of the drive off the Maggie. And it actually pulled a wire out. And that was a problem.
You also had a big drama with the boat delaminating at Epilock earlier in the year. You've done a fantastic job to get that back together. Stevie Scott did a beautiful job with that boat. Mate, you're well and truly in it with a chance. The boat's very, very fast. And I don't need to tell you, but this track ain't about how fast you're going in a straight line.
Unbelievably so. This is actually very much like a Melton with just a little bit of steroids, right? So we're about 100 metres longer than Melton, and I just think this is just going to be a fantastic weekend. We've got basically the world champion being Troy. We've got obviously one of the greatest races of all time in Australia being Chris Palmer, and then we've got the rest of the field, which is just all A class. So I just sit there and think, sit back and just watch a great weekend unfold.
Yeah, Craig Storner sitting on top of the table hasn't won a round, so that's what the consistency's all about, isn't it?
And we've got to remember that's my old boat, so I do know it's a good boat. And funny thing is, when I was involved, Tommy was going to run it as a 95 or 105 mile an hour boat, and I think he's doing like 140 plus mile an hour, so I don't know where that thought process went. But no, excellent weekend.
All right, we've got another one of our good Victorians on the water, mate. I'm going to let you go and download with Connor. Thanks so much, Scotty, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, mate.
So the boat the Brent Leighton owned Kane Ramsey driven Charles Play on the water. As Dave Bisho mentioned a little bit earlier,
Brett Leighton will be enjoying this, Linny, at the moment, just watching his boat go around. So what this is all about, Linny, at the moment, is team running 2 boats. So this is team Ramsey. Now, this is a 21-foot Child's Play hull. They also run the regular boat. Getting a little bit of a chine walk just up in the top speed area there as well, Linny, so that's an interesting one. That's a cavitation plate setup issue, I would suggest. They'll need to go back and maybe have a little bit of a look at that. But what he's doing here is he's going to go out in the Reckless after this, which is the 18.6 Child's Play, and he's going to decide which boat he's going to run here this weekend. So the lay it on looks pretty good, and that will be the boat that they will continue with, but it's so new and so fresh that they may choose to not run it this weekend.
Okay, what's the grand plans for Reckless later on down the track?
Well, I said to Tate, you've won that much stuff in it, mate. You need to hang it from the wall and gold plate it.